Hey, how's it going today, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. It is Wednesday morning. I'm checking in North Carolina here. I am sweating, as you can see, but I don't have the coronavirus that I know of. I don't know, I may have it, who knows. I did eat the Iron Skillet buffet last night, so there's no telling what kind of parasites are running through me right now. But no, I just got done lumping a stop on this load I got here. Final stop. Go ahead and knock that out. That's why I'm making a video today about a couple things. Number one is this load I just finished was a beast. Not really, it was pretty easy, but it paid like a beast, that's for sure. And some stock prices. I got some company stock prices. Since the stock market's been in the news so much lately, we're going to talk a little trucking stocks. So, this load I got, sometimes if they are willing to pay me the ComData check for the lumper fee, you know, some of them will, some of them won't. This particular broker I've worked with a lot in the past, and, you know, I tell them, I'm like, you know, you can go back to the customer and say, hey, the lumper fee was $150, or, you know, you can pay me $100 and I'll do it. And the customer, most of the time, they go for it. You know, saves them a few bucks. I give them my Social Security number so they can tag, so they can, have a tax situation for it. I got all the proper paperwork. My shots are up to date, so they typically don't mind letting me do that, and all that good stuff. This is the only one off of this load that they went for it, because the other places are like big, they want the capstones of the world to unload it and stack it for some reason. Like, I don't know how to unload and stack something. But, anytime I can, it's a nice little workout. It's like working out in the winter in there. It's not that bad. And, it adds a few bucks to the bottom line on the load. This load I picked up in Iowa, just outside of Omaha. So when I was in Omaha, and the reason I took my previous load that went to Omaha is because I try to find a couple cities that are doing really good, and I try to run lanes in and out of there. We got customers in Minnesota, Wisconsin, that typically pay better than spot market freight. But I was looking at Omaha last weekend before last. Yeah, would have been the weekend before last. And Omaha was popping. So I was like, time to get to Omaha. So I ran over, I got the potato load out of Idaho, ran that over to Omaha. There was probably 5 loads I think I called on, if I remember that correctly. I think I may have talked about that in my last video, but I ran over, started calling some brokers, and yeah, did really well in Omaha. So I caught about one load that was from Omaha to Houston. That was like $2,700, one pick, one drop. I called on a load that was going to Maryland, and that one, not bad. It was a one pick, 2 stop. I had a stop in Ohio, finished out in Maryland, I think it was. May have been Northern Virginia, now that I think about it. Not 100% on that. But anyway, that one was doing pretty good. That one was paying about $3,200. The main reason I did not take that one was, number one, it was a babysit load, It picked up on Friday. It delivered like 1,000 miles away to the first stop, and they didn't want it there till Tuesday morning. So I was like, I'm not babysitting your load for an extra 2 days for, unless you want to put, 400 or 500, I told them for an extra $350 I would do it, because, I could get a 34. Anytime I get a load like that, here's what I do. I don't necessarily turn it down. The main reason I turned that one down is because it was a negative 10 degree load, and I'm like, okay, so I'm going to burn about an extra $80 a day, give or take a little bit. Fuel prices are down now, so let's ballpark it at 70. I'm going to burn an extra $70 of fuel a day. So I'm going to need to, be compensated for babysitting that load. I'm going to need probably $50 a day for the risk of sitting on your load, just in case something were to happen. And then me personally, I want at least $100 a day to, sit and do nothing. So typically what I try to do is I try to get them to pay for reefer fuel, sitting, and throw in a little extra for risk involved. And what that does is that allows me to get paid while I do my 34-hour restart. If I'm going to do a 34 on the road, that's what I do. I grab a little bit longer of a load that's got a lot of extra time on it, that's got a reset in it. But then I wiggle and I get the money out of it to get paid to sit and do the reset. Because I have a motto that I really try to stick to out here, and that is I don't do nothing for free. My favorite slogan or slang term out here is, when Uniself gets into the trucking business, you'll get it for free. Until then, you come through me, and it ain't free when you come through me. So, I like the mafia approach. F you, pay me. That's all there is to it. Just pay me. So anyway, load to Maryland. I turned that down. It was -10. I didn't want to set on a -10 that long. I don't want to be their warehouse, basically. It's like, that stuff. If I pick that up on Friday, I could be there Monday. There's no reason to sit till Tuesday afternoon or whenever it was. I think it was Tuesday afternoon on that one. So I turned that down. There was a 600-mile load that was paying pretty good. It was paying like almost $2,000 to go 600 miles. And that there again, that's another one of those that has the reset built into it. So that's kind of what I look for on the weekend. I had just done a reset the last Sunday into Monday, so I really didn't want to do another one over the weekend. I wanted to do a load that had higher revenue, and I found one. So I contacted a broker that I'm very familiar with. Asked them, they got a network. I asked them, I told them I was in Omaha, this, that, and the other. They looked around a little bit. Called me back. I told them what I was looking for. They called me back. They said, okay, we got 2 picks, 7 drops. I said, hey, that's right up my alley. I love those things. So let's do this. Worked out a price on it. Got that for $4,500. Not a bad run. Picked it up Friday. Had 2 picks on Friday in Iowa. Ran across, come down to North Carolina, starting first thing Monday morning on the kind of central North Carolina, and then basically hit, every vending machine company, distribution center across North Carolina. It was basically bam, bam, bam. But I think the farthest I had in between deliveries was 38 miles. I got 4 of them done on Monday. And then the 2 I had yesterday wouldn't let me do anything early. Matter of fact, I set it the second delivery from noon till 5:30 last night because I had a 3 o'clock appointment. I got there 3 hours early. I thought, hey, maybe they'll get this off. I can get the last stop done today. Money in the bank, but no workout for me. So had to let that reefer sit there and run with 2 pallets in it at -10, which, we love that stuff. I was hoping to get this delivered yesterday so I could turn the reefer off last night while I was sitting. Doesn't always work out like you want it to. So, but yeah, the load paid about $275 a mile, and then I got $50 a stop off for the in between 7 stops. The first pickup doesn't pay any extra. The final doesn't pay anything, but the 7 in between paid $350. So I went a little around kind of where I was supposed, or how the GPS wanted me to go. I dodged the tolls. This thing, I don't know, my GPS loves the West Virginia Turnpike for some reason, and I hate that. it's so hilly and curvy, and it's like, you know, $36 a go. And it's like, no thanks. So I dropped down, went through Tennessee, crossed 40 into North Carolina. So no tolls, dodged all them tolls. That's what I like doing. I did have to, it did make me have to drive about an extra, I want to say it's a little over 100 miles extra I drove. I know I'm burning time when I do that, but like I said, I had plenty of hours. I'd only done one load before this one. So the way I looked at it was, I can drive an extra 100 miles and I can save $36 in tolls and not have to go through the mountains. You know, when you drop down through Kentucky, Tennessee, yeah, there's some hills and there's a few mountains, but for the most part, it's not near as mountainous as going, you know, 64 over into Virginia, then dropping down 77. You know, those are some long, hard pulls, and I figured the $36 is, I'm spending about I'm spending about $36, or excuse me, I'm spending about 36 cents or 35 cents, somewhere in that ballpark at current fuel prices, on fuel per mile. So I figured I broke even on fuel by not doing the tolls and driving the extra miles. You know, the only thing really I got extra is, you know, that it cost me is a little bit extra in the maintenance account. But then I figure, you know, hey, I didn't drive through the mountains, so I probably got better fuel mileage. I considered it a break even, and I'm much more willing to drive that 75 down to 40, and then come through, you know, because I used to have a dedicated account from like the Nashville area to the Charlotte area. When I was with USA Truck, I had a dedicated account that just basically went back. All it did was go back and forth. So going from like Knoxville to Asheville, that gorge through there, I could pretty much drive that in my sleep. So I'd rather go that way. I'm more familiar with it, and it's not near as bad as you know, the West Virginia Turnpike. So on this load, I spent $650 on truck diesel. I may have burned a little bit more than that. I didn't do the average price on that, but I'm going to ballpark. I'm somewhere in the, I'm probably going to ballpark. I'm somewhere in the $2.50 a gallon range on that. Reefer fuel was $1.66. You know, I averaged about, I'd say $45 to $50 a day in burnt reefer fuel. Like I say, it's negative 10 degrees, and I don't have the greatest reefer trailer. When I get back to the yard, there will be some sorting and looking and seeing if there's a better one there, or I may call ahead and see if I can, you know, have one set there for me. And then $31 in DEF, which is, I'm full on DEF right now, so $847 total in fuel. Like I said, the load paid $4,500 total. A few pennies over that, I guess. It looked like $45.91, and you know, I get 80% of that, so that's like $3,600. Spent $847 in fuel, so what is that, like $26.50 after fuel left on that. And then, you know, my unloading fee I get, yeah, $100. So not a bad run. You know, came out like probably like $27.50 with the 100 extra bucks on there. I'm trying to do the math on that in my head. I'm just not computing well this morning. So 3,600 minus 850 would be 2750 plus the 100, so 2850. 2 pickups Friday, basically burnt Friday afternoon doing that. I didn't get anywhere on those 2. Ran Saturday, Sunday, didn't run hard, ran like 550 miles a day, and then got up and did the rest of it Monday morning, because I knew I was going to have a short day Monday as far as miles. Now, I did do 4 deliveries Monday, so mind you, it was not an easy day. To deal with 4 refrigerated warehouses in a day is quite the accomplishment, in my opinion. But yeah, overall, very profitable run. If I could find something out of here right back to get another one of those, you better believe I'm going to do it, because I picked that up on Friday. It's Wednesday. I've still got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I got a full clock today, basically still left there. Maybe 12 hours on my 14. I think I burned about 35, 40 minutes this morning doing pre-trip and getting fueled, and about a 30-minute ride here. So still got a lot I can get done today. So I still got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to tack on even more for the week. So we'll see how it works out. We'll just have to see. I don't know. But anyway, that's the load. Want to let everybody know what I've been doing. So let's talk company stock prices while I've got everybody here real quick. Just want to go over a few, just to kind of let you know how some of the bigger firms are doing. And of course, the stock market's been very volatile, so you kind of got to think it's not, on some of these, it's not the specific company as far as them. A lot of it's the stock market going up and down a lot right now. One that I would be very concerned about was YRC. Looked at YRC, $1.77 in pre-market trading this morning. That is up 8% today in pre-market trading. So that's up pretty good, but you got to think they started the year at $2.58, down from $2.58 to $1.77. I was looking at their numbers. They had a massive loss in the fourth quarter last year. It was like way up there in losses. So I don't know. That's one of those companies that people have been saying is going to go out of business for 15 years. Basically, since I've been in trucking, people have been like, YRC's on the brink of going out of business, and it ain't happened yet. They still got a lot of employees. They still move a lot of freight. So I don't know. Judge what you will on that one. The next one, Landstar, the one every owner-operator wants to work for when he first becomes an owner-operator, or used to, at least. I don't know if they got I don't know if they're as hot as they used to be. But they still, like I say, they still got a lot of freight they move, still got a lot of owner-operators, a lot of options over there. They were pre-market trading at $97.94 today. They started the year at $113, so they're down a solid 10% for the year right now. Schneider, Schneike, $17.80 in pre-market trading this morning. Started the year at 22, so they're down a solid 20% this year so far. Ballparking. I didn't do the percentages on these, but yeah, that's a hit right there. It's like 20% this year. They could be in trouble. As far as stock prices, the CEO, if he gets paid on stock bonuses, he's going to do something to make that stock price jump back up, whether it's the right thing to do long term or not. That's probably what he's going to do. JB Hunt, JB 92.14 for the year, or today in pre-market trading. JB started the year at 117.52, so JB's down a solid 20%. I don't know if that intermodal is going to be hurt by the coronavirus or not. I'm wondering about that. I do wonder about how the coronavirus crap is connecting and hurting business. And I did talk to somebody that said their wife works at a port, or I've seen a comment or something. I can't remember where I saw it, but said their wife worked at some sort of port facility, and said containers from China were way down right now. So you got to wonder if that's going to affect the intermodal. I'd love to see somebody that actually does intermodal talk about that. If they've noticed a drop off or whatever. But that's JB. Knight Swift Transportation. I love that name, boy. It just rolls right off the tongue. Knight Swift Transportation. So they are at 32.54 pre-market trading. They started the year at 36.99. So they're down a little over 10%, but they're not down like JB and Schneider. I will say this, Knight Swift had a nice spike about a month ago, and so they were at 39.76 a month ago, and now they're down to 32.54. So that's like 20% in the last month. So, youch. My personal death watch list, top candidate, the one my money's on the death watch list, and now if YRC doesn't get their crap together, they may move up the list, but companies that I think are, destined for the dirt are Roadrunner Transportation Systems Incorporated, LLC. I don't know, they got the longest name ever. I think it's Roadrunner Transportation Systems or something like that. I don't know. But, man, these guys are doing things in business that do not have good long-term implications. When you're selling off divisions of your company to fund other divisions of your company, it typically tells me you're in trouble, because you're either selling off the good parts because they're the only thing you can sell to try to save something, or you're selling off the bad parts to put in the less bad parts. Because if you're doing that, then there really is no good part. If no end's making money, but that's Roadrunner for you. So Roadrunner, let's talk Roadrunner. $6.99 this morning, pre-market trading. Started the year at $8.81. So over 20% down this year, year to date. January 30th, and given now the stock market had a nice little rise in that time, but they were at $10.31. So they went from, what is that, about a little over 2 months ago, January 30th. So like maybe 5 weeks ago, they were at $10.37. Now they're under $7, given it's $6.99. But, that's $3.37 off a $7 basis. Whoa. That's a heck of a drop since January 30th. But yeah, that's what's going on with stocks, guys. Those are just a few I looked up. Just wanted to run over it a little bit. If you work in different segments of the industry, be sure to leave some comments. Let me know how things are going. What's happening in those industries, because that's why I watch so much YouTube. Is I like to learn about all aspects of the industry. I watch guys that do hot shots. I watch guys that do RGN. I watch it all. I like to learn about all of it. So leave me some comments on that if you could. Subscribe to this channel, and if you've made it this far, gold star and cookies are on the way. Thank you very much. Take care of each other out there. Later, everybody.